Soccer Talk with the Soul, presented by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. Adam Deal, president of the Albuquerque Sol, Ron Patel, and then the man himself, Dan Lodge. How you doing? Our expert analysis over here.
I'm doing well. Yourself?
You doing all right?
Yeah.
You sure you're doing okay over there? I know you were sick for a while.
Arsenal came in second. That made me feel better.
That's cute. Let's move along from that. And look, guys, I just want to get this over with. All right, over with some highlights. Let's go to the FA Cup.
Do we have
Finals,
to?
Manchester United and Crystal Palace.
I don't want to watch this.
And
This part was good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
that was an
So,
absolutely
the
fantastic
78th
finish.
minute, guys, and it's looking fantastic. But then Mata, he'll get the deflection in the finish. Mata makes it all ones in the 81st, and I'll tell you what a fantastic strike this was. Right-footed, Jesse Lagarde, bam!
Yeah, that's the kind of goal if you're going to lose, you want to lose to a goal like that,
Absolutely.
right? A nice volley in the top corner.
So unfortunately, I'll say this, and you know, man, you supporters they're happy they get their trophy. Van Gaal gets, I guess, to go out with a bang.
send-off gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was actually a pretty entertaining cup, though, wasn't it?
It was. Did you see Alan Pardew's little dance after the goal? I don't know if you caught that one. We should have had that on the highlight reel, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I did a little salsa dance after they scored.
Everybody here said Manchester United. I think, Ron,
I
you
said Palace.
Crystal Palace. But
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, I mean, they really had their opportunities.
They did. I mean, I thought it was a pretty even game. Both teams had their chances. Man United obviously took the best of their opportunities. Lingard's goal was great. Can't really argue with that one. I don't think there was much luck involved in that one. Man United dug out the win like I think most people expected them to. You know, experience really prevailed in that game.
Yeah, I think I was talking more with my heart than my brain when I said
Yeah.
that.
I think
But
we all
it was,
wanted Crystal Palace to
It was
win,
Palace's at first, and United were too good.
So not all is lost for Manchester United this season, at least, and though next year they will not be involved in the Champions League, and I think a lot of people on this set will smile happily because of it. Let's move on a little bit, and let's keep it with England. We'll go to the international friendly. England taking on Turkey, and Dan, take me through this.
Yeah, Harry Kane done what he's done all season, finished. Was a little bit offsides, but you know, that's neither
A little
here
bit
nor there.
offside.
Turkey answered back, and you know, and this is the kind of the point that England in history hasn't really done that well. Unfortunately, Harry Kane missed the penalty, but Jamie Vardy steps up like he has all season and buried that goal. Kane and Vardy partnership of the Euros is really gonna be a strong
What do you
hold
think
for
about
England.
Jamie Vardy? I mean, it's just an interesting story.
He's
isn't
so
it?
much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, really coming from nowhere, right? I mean, no one really knew who he was. Such a cheap player in nowadays football.
Inexpensive.
Inexpensive, sure. Absolutely fantastic player. His work rate is just incomparable when you look at forwards. Really looking forward to the Euros, watching him and Harry Kane just cause chaos up front for a lot of defenses.
Well, more to talk about that in a second, but some other cups to be handed out, if you will, and of course, Copa del Rey, we cannot forget about that. This was an interesting one. A quick red card for Barcelona in the first half really kind of shook things up. So let's get to it. Copa del Rey final. Barcelona taking on Sevilla. And really, I'll tell you what, Barcelona, with their backs against the wall until Messi does what Messi does, in extra time, a beauty is sent inside the box.
97th
It's tucked
minute.
home, 1-0.
Yeah,
Sevilla actually gets a red card too in this overtime.
Sevilla, you know, just coming off beating Liverpool in the Europa finals, probably a little
You just
tired,
had to
but-
throw that in, didn't you?
Well, you know, why not? You know, but Barcelona's been fantastic all season. Messi, Suarez, and Neymar just
You see Messi there get
unbelievable.
his second assist. Really, it was all but done there as he tucks it. And Neymar, you're not going to miss from there. But yeah, so Copa del Rey was pretty exciting. I'll tell you, that second half, I don't know if you guys really caught the whole thing, but it was really chippy. I think there was 8 cards to Sevilla handed out. There was 2 red cards in all. It was just kind of ugly, right?
They were tired, and I think that's kind of what contributed to the chippiness. And thanks for getting your little jab in there on Liverpool. I know, Adam, I really appreciate that. But no, it was a chippy second half, and you know, Barca at the end of the day deserved the win, I think.
Yeah, I mean, vicious game. I mean, like a lot of these competitive Spanish games are. You get in these, you know, your Real Madrid, Sevillas, your Atleticos. You'll see a lot of They play very fancy footwork, but they're definitely chippy games. You'll definitely see some cars being flown in a lot of those matchups.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on now, let's go back to the Premier League. We haven't really had a chance to discuss this. Leicester City, we said they would win the Premier League. Well, they finally have, and so the story that shouldn't have happened happened. And as we've talked about it, the season grew older and older, you said, "Oh my God, this is actually going to happen." What do you think, Ron? I'll start with you.
It's beautiful. It's so good for the game, and I grew up in England around the Premier League. Back then it was the first division when I was growing up, and you never see a team like this. And I'm not sure this ever will happen again. And it's a fairy tale.
What is the biggest underdog story, I think, in the history of sports? I mean, 5,000 to 1 odds. Some
and
people
to put
are
it in
bankrupt.
perspective, if you remember the Miracle on Ice, when the U.S. beat the Soviets in the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, the U.S. they beat them in the semis, and they won the finals. Right. The odds of that happening was 1,000 to 1. And that was the Miracle on Ice. And the odds of Leicester City winning was 5,000 to 1. So it's a great story.
And it's not one game. I mean, you had to do it through the course of a season.
Grind.
That's why every single Premier League fan or anybody who pays attention was thinking, okay, well, this is a cute story, but they're going to fall off when things start to.
We all thought it.
We all thought,
talked
and
about it a lot.
It didn't happen. They grew stronger as the season came to an end.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the defensive part of it as well is kind of the unspoken story of Leicester. Towards the end of the season, when everyone kind of expected that dip, they were just digging out 1-0 wins, and a lot of that is your back four just literally not letting anything by and playing every game like it's a last. And when you got someone like Jamie Vardy up front and Mahrez who can create an opportunity out of nothing, you can get one opportunity a game and put that away and dig away these 1-0 leads.
And I think it was the beginning of the year, right after Christmas, when your Gunners got them 3-0 or 4-0, and everyone's like, "Oh, here it is. It's over now. This is going to be it." They bounced right back and 1-0, 1-0.
I mean, even to seal the fate. I mean, Tottenham had to go to Chelsea, and I mean, they never win in Chelsea, and just the fact that how it all happened for them, it was really lined up for Leicester City in the end.
That was speaking of a chippy game. That was a chippy game to watch that Tottenham-Chelsea game, but it was entertaining and it secured the win for Leicester. So it's great for football, for soccer in general.
Absolutely. There's so much money involved in the sport these days, and everyone talks about how money makes the world go round, and these people buy these fantasy teams like you would in a FIFA game. I wouldn't imagine many people would have picked many people of the Leicester team in their FIFA fantasy team, and obviously won the league and deserving of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there was that guy, I was listening to Sirius XM FC, and there was a guy that had called in and said he'd put money on Leicester, I think the second or third game. There might have been a couple that did it right from the beginning. Put $100 down and
if you could only go back in time,
right?
You could only just $50. Can I just put $50?
McFly did it.
I mean, the last game of the season for Man United, they needed to win by 19 goals in order to make it into the Champions League, and it was like 2,500 to 1 odds. So it was actually more likely than Leicester winning the league.
That's ridiculous.
Just crazy, right?
That is ridiculous. I want to talk now and move forward. Euro Cup this summer. What an exciting summer we have.
England.
There's a bunch of England fans in here, and it's a little bit ridiculous, to be honest. Andy Wilkinson and Dan Lodge from England. Of course, you're from England, Ron Patel. There's too many people from England here. And you guys, just like every single cup or every single event, England is back, right? It's England's year. Let's take a look at their group. You've got Russia, Wales, and Slovakia. I mean, it's not the most simple group to walk out of.
I think Wales only lost one game in their qualification. They've got a lot of good players, a lot of players playing in the Premier League, so that's not going to be an easy game. Russia, Slovakia are also not going to be easy games. So I wouldn't say England's got an easy ride out of their group.
Not at all.
But we've absolutely been playing fantastic up until now.
And as you alluded to, us English, every 2 years, I don't know what it is, we get so frustrated after the tournament. I'm never going to have expectations again. And you get about a year out, and you're like, things might be all right. And then you get about 3 months out, and it's like,
I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, right, in football. And so I know I'm a part of the group that says, all right, this is our year, we're going to the Super Bowl. England fans are Dallas Cowboy fans. Every year, you guys are going to win. You got the team this year. Oh, here comes Jamie Vardy. I mean, come on.
I don't like being compared to a Dallas Cowboy fan, but that's another story for another day. But it's so funny. I mean, I got to go to the World Cup in 2006 in Germany. And it was such a disappointing performance, but it seems like quarterfinal is a victory for England. And again, inside me, my heart not talking, my head talking, I think quarterfinal would be a great result. Yeah. But the excitement that I've seen just around this team and these young guys, just I believe, I do.
It's the youth, I think, is really going to take us forward, and the energy up front. I'd say not very often in the past have we seen a Harry Kane, a Sturridge, and a Jamie Vardy leading our front line. I mean, all three players, great goal scorers. So I think that could be the difference this year. It could just be an English fan, telling the same story over again.
You guys were a lot more confident before we got cameras in front of you. I just want to point that out.
You mentioned the Wales game, though. I want to bring that up. I mean, this is a game for Wales that if any game they're ever going to get up for, they're going to get up for this game. I mean, there's a rivalry. It's not heated. But it is. And
it's been less competition in the past, right? I mean, it's not like Wales has been a dominant force as a country. So it's something that England has the expectation to win, but absolutely Wales is going to show up. And
they're coming to play. They've got nothing to lose playing against England, and they've got a lot of confidence. So that could scare me a little bit, but I still believe.
All that has to happen is you've got to get out of your group, right, and not go to PKs, and then you should be fine.
As long as we don't go to,
or you guys could have some better blood like me and be a German and not have to worry about it when you go to PKs.
Germans have got an absolutely fantastic team. France, for me, I think is.
You guys were saying France right before we got on. A lot of people
being at home
France.
and they've just got, so much talent right now, right? With your Pogbas, Griezmann, and all these players coming through. I mean, just absolutely incredible individual talent. It's almost hard to pick a starting lineup for France right now. I think other teams like Portugal, outside of your Ronaldo, have got a lot of really good young talent. There's a lot of sneaky teams. Your Belgium's just a lot of individuals from around the world that are playing right now. They're phenomenal players. See if they can bring, I think historically they haven't really brought it together as a team, but if they can really link together, I think that's another.
And it's funny, I'm sure other England fans, Andy's still on set and Dan here, can relate. Like every tournament comes around like this and we start watching the YouTube videos and thinking, oh, what do we miss? I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this, and I'll start watching the loss to Portugal, and I'll start watching the Euros and in the World Cup, and
just
you
hurt
get yourself. Yeah, you do. You break your own heart as you're watching it, and it's just we do it over and over again. It's part of being English, I think.
You got to set yourself up for a little bit of disappointment. Being an English fan, I think, so, but yeah, absolutely 100% with you. England through and through, every year is our year, and unfortunately, I've been disappointed a lot of times.
It's going to be a fun summer. There's so many good teams in this
tournament. Before we get out of this segment, I have to ask, we haven't talked about it. I was completely wrong for the Champions League final. I said it was going to be City and Bayern, and it's the opposite of that. So it's the two Madrids, Atletico Madrid, as they're going to take on Real Madrid. I'll start with you, Ron. What do you think?
Atletico. I think it's not quite the Wales-England comparison, but Atletico want Real so bad, and I think they've got enough to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. You're going to see a lot of how the Bayern game was set up, where Atletico's probably going to do a lot of counterattacking again. Defensively, they're absolutely just phenomenal.
They're stunning defensively right now. They are absolutely on point. Their back four, fantastic, but not just their back four. It goes further than that, and they can counterattack really well.
Yeah, you're looking at someone like Fernando Torres, who was an absolute superstar when he was at Liverpool, went to Chelsea and really didn't kind of hit the level that everyone thought he was going to hit. Yep. Now he's back at Atletico. He's comfortable. He's slightly older, but he's absolutely phenomenal. He's had one of his best seasons in years. Him and Griezmann up front are just really hard to deal with.
Funny, because we all thought Fernando Torres was done, right, for him. Right. And now he's kind of rejuvenated his career, at least
he really
this
has.
season.
And you can see his passion for Atletico too. I think that's what it is. It's really home for him.
I'm going to go Real Madrid, guys.
There will be very close games. I think the last 3 games will be decided by a goal or 2. I think it's been 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. I think Real Madrid's had the best in the last 2 games. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Atletico's got the passion. Real's got the talent in a lot of ways. I think it could hinge on Ronaldo being fit, truly fit. But I'd probably have to lean with Real.
I think we'll put a poll up on the Soul Facebook page if you want to put it on Soccer Fans of Albuquerque too. For those of you who don't know, that's Dan's page, Soccer Fans of Albuquerque. It's a great page. And let's see what the public says.
No advertising on it,
right?
No advertising, yes.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys in a little bit. We have a lot more to talk about. Mike Edwards is going to come on. We're going to talk about the U.S. Open Cup here in just a little bit. You're watching Soccer Talk with the Soul, and it's all presented by New Mexico Pinon Coffee.